And I got all this popping soil, and I spent all day yesterday taking out old and putting in new and mixing matching.
All right.
I'm waiting till a couple of weeks to put my tulips in.
Yeah.
I think it's too warm.
Yeah.
What about, have y'all planted your tulips?
Yeah. Well, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
All right. Let's go. We'll start from a sitting position. Whatever leg position's comfortable, cross-legged, legs out. Just whatever lets you sit up nice and tall. Just start becoming more aware of your breathing in and out. Just notice how deeply you're breathing and how fast you're breathing. Just observing, no judging, no trying to control it. Just continue breathing. I'm going to start us off with this reading tonight. Anything can be overcome. The journey that each human makes through earthly existence can have hardship as often as it is touched with joy. When we encounter adversity, the stress we feel can erode our optimism, eventually convincing us that the issues we face cannot be overcome. In truth, there is no situation so dire, no challenge so great, and no choice so bewildering that it cannot be overcome. Though we may believe that all avenues have been closed to us, or that our most conscientious efforts will come to naught, we are never without feasible options. The best course of action may be veiled in doubt, but it is there. When we are honest with ourselves with regard to the simple fact, we can overcome anything because we will never stop looking for a solution to the challenges before us. A couple of ways your breathing patterns do become connected to your mood. Shallow, faster breathing tends to be connected to anxiety or feelings of anxiety. And really deep belly sighing breaths, again, as an extreme, can be kind of connected to lethargy or even depression. So it's trying to find that balance. Let's go ahead and bring our hands into heart center. Connect your thumbs with your breastbone. Interlace your fingers and then press your hands away, elevating your collarbones towards your chin while you're spreading your shoulder blades. And then stretch upward, squeezing your shoulders towards your ears. And then lean to your right side. And lean to your left. Let's come back to the right. One more time to the left. And this time when we come to the right, go ahead and put your hand down, get some support, and lean a little farther, and just hold that and breathe. And then same thing on the other side. Get some support, stretch a little farther to the side. And come back to center. We'll make our way to all fours. Do some cat-cows. Have your hands under your shoulders, your hips over your knees, and just slowly round the back and the shoulders, and then gently arch. Just do this at your own speed. I'm not going to call out a tempo or anything. Just find that tempo that feels good. Gives you some mobility through your spine and across your shoulders. And then come to neutral, and we'll just slowly take our hips side to side. Again, at your own speed. finally do 2 or 3 waist circles each way. And you're feeling all kinds of sliding of those shoulder blades, movement of your spine. And watching all those places where you're carrying tension, especially in the shoulders and the pelvis. All right, so we're going to pull our hips back, come into child's pose. Really reach those arms out. Once you're breathing deep, then we're going to go into a flow. And we go in and out of downward dog a few times. So go ahead and just round your back as you lift your hips off the heels, tuck your toes under, and just slow into downward dog. Really lift those sit bones. Let there be a little bend in the knee so you can really get the sit bones lifted. And coming back down, knees come down, pull hips back, come back into child's pose. Reach those hips away from the hands. And again, round your back, tuck your toes under, flow into downward dog. And release it back down. Pulling the hips back. And we'll do that one more time. Coming into downward dog. Let's walk the dog this time, alternate bending one knee and then the other. And finally start walking those feet right up to the front of the mat, in between your hands. Come into forward fold. If it's hard to reach the floor, either bend your knees to get your hands down or brace into your legs. And then we're going to bend the knees and slowly unroll the spine, one vertebra at a time as we make our way up. Come into Tadasana, mountain pose. And just bring those big toes all the way together. Have your second toe pointing straight ahead. Let's lift our toes, feel all 4 corners of our feet, our big toe mound, our small toe mound, inner and outer heel. And we're just going to lift and lower the arms as we really root the feet into the ground. Exhaling down. Inhale again, big stretch up. Exhale it out. Do that 2 more times. Big breath in. Exhale it out. This last time, we're going to pull the hands down into the heart. Elevate the collarbones, elevate the breastbone into your hands. And then move into classical sun salutation. Inhale, lift up. On the exhale, forward fold. Flatten your back, step back with your right leg, kneeling lunge. Put the top of that foot on the ground. Just lift the arms up. And hold that for a breath or 2. Try to point the tailbone toward the ground. Really reach to those fingertips. And then on an exhale, we bring the hands down, tuck your back toe under, press into lunge and step back into plank, knees or toes, lower down, pressing into cobra, all the way through to downward dog. And then look under your body like you're trying to pull your chin towards your collarbones. And then as you start to look towards your hands, your shoulders shift forward. Now you're going to step that right foot forward. You come into kneeling lunge with your left foot back, right foot in front. Reach up. Again, pointing the tailbone down, reaching right up to those fingertips. This time we bring the hands down, tuck the back toe under, and then step that foot up next to the other one. Forward fold. And the knees, unroll the spine. And come back into mountain pose or Tadasana. Broaden the shoulders, relax the shoulders. Let the arms just hang passively out of the shoulder socket. Let's breathe again, reaching up. Exhale it down. And again, just moving with the breath. Do that 2 more times. Last one, we'll pull the hands back into heart center. Take a breath. And then lift up. And fold forward. Flatten your back. This time the left foot steps back first. Kneeling lunge. We're going to add a heart opener this time. So it starts out the same way. Reaching up. And then just rolling the thumbs, leading with the thumb, bring your hands behind your back. Open your chest, lift your hands up. You feel like you're lifting your breastbone and your collarbone up towards your chin. And you're lifting your hands off your rear end. And then just release the hands, reach up overhead again. Bring it down to the mat. Lunge into plank. Knees first. Move down. Cobra. Into downward dog. Really lengthening that spine, but softening your neck. And then look under your body and start to look towards your hands. And as you do, step that left foot forward, kneeling lunge. Hands up. Bring the hands behind the back. Open the chest, connect those hands. Elevate the collar and the breastbone and the hands. Release the hands overhead again. Come back down and step the feet together. Forward fold. Then the hips and the knees, unroll the spine. And make your way back to mountain Uttanasana. Face you guys a little bit here. So just stand here. Kind of imagine your body's like a pillar of energy, really grounding down through the legs and then reaching up through your spine. Breathe in and out. Broad shoulders. Relaxed jaw. Let's lift and lower those arms again. Trying to connect a lot of movement with breathing tonight. We we calm our fight or flight system. Let's do that one more time. Bring the hands into heart center. We're going to come into Eagle, Garudasana. So just fold at the hips and knees. We're going to cross our right leg over our left. Intertwine if you can. Put your toe down if you need to. And then your right arm is underneath. Either put your hands on your shoulders or intertwine. Broaden your shoulders. And then slowly try to squeeze your upper arms away from your chest. Imagine you're breathing into your upper back, right under your shoulder blades. Exhale and undo the hands, undo the legs, press back to mountain. Again, reconnect those feet, both feet equally with the ground, rooting into the ground. Let's lift and lower the arms, breathing, inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. Let's do that 2 more times. And this last one, we'll bring the hands back into heart center. And then fold up the hips and knees again. This time the left leg crosses on top. Left arm on the bottom. Reaching back through the hips, broadening the shoulders, squeezing the upper arms away from the chest. Exhale and undo the hands, undo the legs. Again, come to full mountain. Take a breath in, moving and breathing. Do that 3 more times. So this time we're going to bring our hands down to our sides. Do one more breath in. Bring the hands back to our sides. So we're going to come into a sun salutation A, but we're going to flow for part of it and hold for part of it. So you can have your feet a little farther apart. Lift the hands up. We're going to come into chair pose. So pull those hips back, hold at the hips and knees. And we're going to hold this. So feel the muscles around your sit bones engaging, your thighs. Keep your spine straight. And then exhale, fold forward, flatten back, step back into plank, use your toes, and we're going to hold again here. If you have a little bend in your elbows, you engage those triceps. You want your elbow creases facing the front so your arms are basically looking like a hinge. Lower down, and pressing into cobra or upward dog, and then into downward dog. Lift those sit bones and lengthen the spine. Slide your shoulder blades around, just shift a little bit, just notice what you feel. And we'll soften the knees. Walk those feet back to the front of the mat. Bend the hips and knees, reach back up into chair. And then just straighten the legs to come up. Release the arms down by your sides. Just relax, let those arms hang out of the shoulder socket. Really press into the arms and the hands. Breathe in and out. Do that one more time. So turn your palms towards your legs and then lift up. Sit the hips back. Hold that for a breath, but keep breathing. Forward fold. Flatten your back, step back into plank. Hold that plank again. Knees or toes. So you're squeezing your upper arm toward the rib cage as well. And that's especially important when you're lowering down. Protect your shoulders and the wrists. Coming into cobra or upward dog. And then downward dog. Lengthening that spine. And then soften the knees and walk the feet back to the front of the mat. Let the hips and knees come back into. And then press the legs straight. Send upward and then bring your hands back down to your sides. So as long as you keep the collarbones elevated and the shoulders open, you don't have to force the thumbs out or anything. They'll kind of roll out on their own. Breathe in and out. We're going to move into a series. We're going to come into warrior one from a standing position tonight instead of from the ground up. So go ahead and get started with that. Let's go ahead and lift the arms up. We're going to step back with our left leg first. Left leg back, warrior one. Really reach through those fingertips while you're rooting through your feet, especially that front foot. And we're just going to slice those hands through and connect behind the back again, opening the heart, opening the chest. And then as you're lifting your hands off your rear end and back side of your body, really try to root those feet into the ground. You guys are on a soft mat. Just imagine you're trying to leave an imprint in that mat. And then reach up again. We're going to bring your hands down, come into a lunge. All 10 toes point to the front of the mat. Your back heel comes up. And then just step the feet together. Underneath the spine, make your way back up the mountain. Open up the chest. Inhale, lift up again. We'll step back now with that right foot. Warrior one. So same thing, really feel your feet rooting into the ground while you're really reaching through those fingertips. Slice the hands through, connect behind your back. And you're lifting up the hands while you're really trying to leave a footprint. Leave an impression in the ground. You may feel the hamstrings on that front leg working. Release your hands, reach back up. And make your way down to that lunge. And then step your feet together. Bend your knees, unroll your spine. And make your way up. So repeat all this. We're just going to add one more layer each time here. Extra stretch this time. So we'll start back to that left leg again, left leg first, stepping back. Warrior one. We're going to take our arms back a little differently this time. We're going to roll those thumbs, come around the side, connect the hands, lift up. But just put your hands in a little different place, a little different orientation in the shoulder socket. Press your front leg straight this time, and you're hinging out your hips. You're trying to reach your spine right to the top of your head, parallel to the floor. And then bend that front knee as you release your hands back up. Bring the hands down to the mat. That back heel comes up, it becomes a lunge. And step your feet together. Bend the knees, slowly unroll your spine. Let the chest open gently. One more time on the other side. Reach the arms up. Right leg steps back. Warrior one. Really get a good connection foot into the floor. And then the hands start to turn, thumbs start to try to find each other, meet behind the back. Open the chest, lift the collarbones. Root the feet to the ground. Press your front leg straight. Hinge out the hips. Spine is parallel to the floor. Bend that front knee as the arms sweep up. And bring the hands down, come into that lunge. Step the feet together. Bend the knees, under the spine. Come back to the mountain. Again, feel that rooting of the feet down into the mat, reaching of the spine to the top of the head. Just breathe. And feel the different parts of your body, your legs, your torso, your shoulders. All right. So we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold this time. Let's start out the same way as the last two sequences. Take that left leg, step it back again. Warrior one. Transitioning directly into star pose. So just turn to the side. So you guys turn to your left side. And then we're just going to slide the hands down the legs. And the idea here is to get a little bit of an inversion where your head is lower than your heart and your head is upside down. You can hang on to your legs. You can gently place your hands on the floor for more support. This is a nice decompression, especially for the cervical spine. And then press your hands into the mat. Turn your right toe to the front. And we're going to come into lizard. So both arms are inside that front leg. Brace inside that leg. And then just take your right arm around to the outside of that leg. You might need to scoot it in a little bit. We're going to step the feet together. Get that front foot reaching out kind of far. You can always adjust your feet. Bend the knees and then roll the spine. Come back up. Do that one more time on the other side. Starts out the same way. Step back with your right leg in warrior one. And then come into star pose. I'm going to go and turn around and face you guys again. So Into that wide leg forward fold. You can do a little bit of a weight shift where you feel more weight in the ball of your foot. Just don't shift so far that you topple over. But the more you can get those hips inverted over your head, the stronger the inversion. And bring your hands back to the center. This time, turn your left foot to the front. Come into lizard pose with that left foot in front. And then scoot that left hand to the outside of the foot. Bring your feet together. Fold here. Roll your spine, make your way up to standing. Stand nice and tall. When the air really gets going, those bags start swaying. So inhale up one more time. We're going to make our way down to the mat here for a little bit. Fold forward. Flatten your back. And we're just going to walk the feet back and come into all fours. And pull into child's pose. Reach those hips back to the heels, but bring your arms around. And if you can do so comfortably, let your arms just rest on the ground beside your body. If it feels better to have them, under your head or your hands under your head, go ahead and put them there. Just feel them to relax and basically rest for a moment or two. When you come off of that, just walk those hands back out in front. Come into all fours. And we're going to make our way basically from the ground up into a side angle. So bring your right foot to the front. Tuck your back toe under so we come into that lunge. Turn your back foot. So we're literally walking ourselves up our leg. Get that arm under our body and then just open up. Reach up for the sky. And we just lift that torso up and we come into warrior two. And as we shift our torso, we may need to shift our feet and our hips. And just pay attention to what you're feeling. And as you're holding warrior two, glance down, make sure that your knee is lining up with your second and third toe. It's really where to want to fall inward. We want to keep the hip engaged. But then also squeeze your pinky fingers back slightly, just like you're trying to really broaden the front of your chest. And we're going to lean back onto that leg. Top thumb to shoulder, reach in line with your body. And then you can take that bottom arm off that leg if you want to engage that torso and that front leg a little more. And we'll just come back out of that. Bring our hand back down. Drop back down. Extend that leg back and then tuck it in. Come back to all fours. So you can come into side angle from the top down and from the ground up. This time we'll do it with the left leg in front. Get back to left. Start to angle that foot. Press yourself into that hand into that leg. And just open up. Lift on up into warrior two. Adjusting your feet as needed. You'll feel the need to adjust by what you're feeling in your hips. Make sure your front knee is lining up with your second and third toe. And then gently squeeze those pinky fingers back. Engage the muscles around the back of the shoulders, the shoulder blades. And come back onto that leg, get that support to set up, thumb to shoulder, reach and lunge your body, and then you have the option of reaching that bottom arm underneath and taking away the support. Really feeling that connection between that front foot and the ground, and weight of your body on that front leg. And get that support back. Come back around to that lunge. You need to pivot that back foot, let the heels come up. Bring that leg down. Pull that leg back. And return to child's pose. This time keep those arms outstretched. Run around the back. Come back into cat, quick cow. So we're going to work into a seated series. Bring your right leg underneath and put the top of your left foot on the bottom of your right foot. So we're just going to do kind of a twist cobbler pose series. So right hand reaches around, left hand comes across, and we're just spiraling our spine. The hips are a little more neutral this way. Release. So go ahead and pick up that left leg and bring it either inside the knee or across the knee. And we'll get centered here and just kind of let the hips settle first. And then reach that left hand back and reach that right hand up. Extend upward first, and then you're going to bring it in and just come from the top down and tuck it into that leg. Brace into that leg and use that leverage to help turn those ribs while you're still trying to root that left hip into the ground. Breathe in and out. Turn your head a couple of times. This is as a way to check in and make sure we're not really locking down the traps, the muscles where the shoulders slope into the neck. Release that. Now we're going to take that left leg and just come into cobbler's pose. And tug on the legs. You'll feel yourself rocking into your sit bones. And you can have your heels as close or as far away. And whatever allows you to get a good stretch. Really try to relax the groins and the hips especially. All right. So now we're going to set up for the other side. If you need to shake your legs out a little bit, we'll move on to the other side. So we're going to have basically the left foot sitting on top of the right, and then coming across. So I'm literally, root that left foot into the ground, like you're really trying to just, again, make an impression in the mat with that side of your sit bone. And then release. We'll go ahead and pick up that right leg, bring it either across the knee or inside the knee. Whatever lets you sit up pretty tall and straight. Don't worry if one side's coming across farther than the other. And go ahead and reach that right hand back, left hand stretches up. Pull it down and just actively brace into that leg. So the upper body gets pretty active here. We're still only trying to keep that spine elongated and as stacked as possible. turn the head a couple of times again just to check in. You've got a lot going on across the shoulders. We want to be able to engage the shoulders without walking down the neck. And relax, release. Come back into accomplished pose again. Just pull your torso into that center space. And sit up. All right, let's go ahead and open those legs out to the sides. Try to point your toes toward the ceiling. We're going to start by coming right back into the center again. And it's more of a hinging out of the hips. We're not really rounding the back too much, so you may not be able to get very far forward. And just sit up, and we're going to take our right hand and just lean sideways toward that right foot. And then lift that left shoulder open a little farther and reach up and over. So I don't know if you can see that I'm actually elevating and stretching up and over. I'm not just falling sideways. And then we'll come up and go to the other side. So do a little turn, side body to the leg, reach, hang on to something if you can, ankle, toe, and then just lift that arm up. And just feel that whole side of your body trying to lift up as well. Feel how your breath is expanding into the right side of your rib cage. Creating space, releasing tension. And come out of that. And we're going to come onto our back. So go ahead and rock back and hug both knees into your chest to start. This is a great position to release the tension in your back. Your lower back's cranky. It kind of flattens out your lumbar curve and also flattens out the back of your pelvis. And then go ahead and extend your left leg along the mat and just take your right leg in your hands. Your leg is passive. Use your hands and just move that leg. Go around 3 or 4 times each direction at your own speed. Just keep breathing while you do it. And then just straighten that leg as much as you can. It doesn't have to, as long as you get to a point where you're feeling a hamstring stretch and you're supporting the back of your thigh, you're doing what you need to do. Try a few ankle circles here. Just notice how changes in the position of your foot change what you feel in your leg. And let that knee bend. Open your arms out to the side. And we're just going to bring that leg across. And you decide how far across to go. It's going to create a pull into the right side of your waist. You can keep that knee bent. You can straighten that leg. You want to point where you feel like you're getting a stretch, but you're still able to relax into that stretch. You're not fighting your body to get there. So it's a supported twist. Slowly come back onto your back. And now you're just going to put that foot on the floor. So So your right leg is bent, foot on the floor. We're going to take our left leg now, cross it over, and get that reclining pigeon pose in. So now we pick that right foot back up and just shift it around and try to get the best stretch now in your left hip. Work with your breathing to get these muscles to release. On an exhale, let that right leg come down and then cross. And then just keep hanging on now to that left leg as you straighten your right leg along the mat. And we move to the other side. So start working that left leg in a passive circle. And 3 or 4 times each direction at your own speed. And go ahead and straighten that leg as much as you can, however far you need to feel the stretch in the hamstring. Let's do a few ankle circles each way. And then bend that knee, open your arms out to the sides, and slowly let that leg drift across so you find the spot that gives you the best stretch. We're all going to look different with where we go with this, so tune into what you're feeling in your body and across even that shoulder. You might notice if there's a corresponding, like if one hip's tight, is that same shoulder tight as well? Or is it your opposite shoulder? Are the shoulders the same, but the hips uneven, unequal? Soften that knee. Come on to your back. And you'll end up with your left foot on the floor. Bring that right leg back, cross it on top of the left. Reclining pigeon pose. Don't be afraid to shift that support leg. Make little adjustments. Sometimes you'll feel the stretch at first, and the muscle releases there, and just shift around and find a different spot. And go ahead and uncross your legs, and this time we come back to the knee hug. And then just one leg at a time. Put your feet back on the floor with your knees bent. And just reach your arms overhead. Just do a little shoulder shift where one shoulder shifts and the other, like you're just one arm's reaching to the other. And then go ahead and extend your right leg and reach your right arm. Opposite direction, so we get a little diagonal stretch here. And then we'll switch sides. Right hand, left leg. Really reach. And then just keep those arms up there, bend the legs so both knees are bent. Bend your elbows, just bring your arms over your body, back down to your sides. And then come into reclining cobbler's pose. And then from here, you can stay with this if you'd like, or after a few breaths here, if there's a more comfortable position for Shavasana, and go ahead and find that. Legs together, legs straight, on your side, on your belly. Just get comfortable. Settle into Shavasana. Reconnect with the breathing. Just feel how the breathing shifts your body against the ground, and feel the expansion and contraction. The inhale and the release. The ohms would really echo in here. Yeah, the acoustics in this room are pretty. Unfortunately, it doesn't translate that well as a recording, but. All right, well, we will close with this thought tonight. Even when it seems like you have nowhere left to turn, there is a solution waiting for you, always. Namaste. Welcome back, Annie.
Guys, really, I needed that so much. And by the way.
What was that?